Okay, let's call this 5 p.m. meeting to order. Sacramento City Council. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. I expect Councilmember Kaplan momentarily, and Councilmember Dickinson.
Here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Councilmember Pluckybaum.
Here.
Councilmember Maple.
I am here.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
Here.
Councilmember Vang.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Talamantes, or pardon me, Vice Mayor Talamantes. And I expect Councilmember Kaplan any moment. Mayor McCarty,
Here.
you have a quorum.
Okay. Councilmember Pluckybaum, you do the pledge and land acknowledgement.
To the original people of this land, the Nisenan, the Southern Maidu, Valley Plains, Miwok, Patwin-Wintu, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather together today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous people's history, contribution, and lives. Thank you. Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
Madam City Attorney, do you have a report out from closed session?
Mayor and Councilman in closed session to discuss 2 items of litigation, but there's nothing to report on.
Thank you. So we move to the consent calendar, and Mayor, I do have one read to the record. On item number 2, we're going to remove Steve Cohn, seat E, from the Compensation Commission, and that will be brought back to the council at a later time. Are there any council members that have questions or want to make comments on the consent calendar? Councilmember Dickinson?
Thank you. I will be recusing myself on item 14 due to a campaign contribution in excess of $500 by Clear Channel within the last year, barely.
Thank you. So that's recusing from item 14. Councilmember Kaplan?
Just brief comment on item 13.
I see no one queued up, so you want to proceed with that?
Awesome. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the city staff and everybody. This is authorization for Woodspring Suites Hotel to begin construction on the corner of Del Paso and Truxell. So our 11th hotel coming in North Natomas. It'll have 4 stories with 122 rooms, and it's actually just a 2-block walk to North Natomas Regional Park. So very excited to have them come in our city.
Thank you. I show no other council members queued up to speak. I have one speaker, Mac Worthy, on item 7. Mr. Worthy?
Mac.
Worthy, item 7. Would you like to make comments? Item 7 is a grant, Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development.
Mainly on that type of thing is, I think it's something about federal grants. Federal grants from economic development. What you going to put here for economic development? Where you going to go? Who you going to hire? You got nothing left. You got nothing left. You can't, on that little grant, if you even buy a piece of land, it's all absorbed. How long can you hire a person with a decent income? I would encourage the government to freeze them. Don't give them no more until you get the crime up there. Once you eliminate crime in the administration, then you get federal grants. Because somebody know who broke the Brown Act here. And you said you're going to ask the government? Now, we heard that Department of Justice coming here. I got to get a kite out to Washington, D.C. because I want to sit in on that meeting. Definitely, because somebody going to quit the line before I die here in the city. Because, Dixon, you're the only hope that we have. Only hope we have. Go, la, I said, they only can say aye and second. It's no comments on anything else. Just go on and on. Little girl that sung a voice said, I had to sit here and go to sleep in the first minute. You gotta get away from that. We don't need that lip service. Let the people do what they would do here on the freedom of speech and try and help them on the economic. Not one person say anything about we got a business of 500 coming in here and gonna hire people. Nobody. So wake up, people. I'm here and I'm gonna be here for a while.
Thank you for your comments, Mayor. I have no more speakers on the consent calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have a
We have a
motion?
motion and a second on the consent calendar.
I'll second.
A motion, a second. All those in favor, please say aye, except Mr. Dickinson recusing himself from item 14.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes or abstentions? None? Thank you.
We move to our public hearing, item 15, 2025, weed and rubbish abatement.
All right, Mayor, Council, City Manager, thank you for your time. I'm Sean Bartos with the Community Development Department. I'm here today to recommend that council authorize code compliance, the authority to abate weeds, rubbish, refuse, and debris from undeveloped properties that constitute a public nuisance and a fire hazard. The fire season runs from April 15th through the end of October. Staff recommends that council consider any objections and comments related to this matter, and I'm available if you have any questions. Thank you.
And Mayor, for the record, I have no public comments on this item.
Okay, Councilman Reguera?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank, Peter Lemus and his team for working with neighbors. I know it's not on this item here, but appreciate the code's recognition of the issues that some of the neighbors are facing, and we have those who are non-responsive, and in this case, we're responding to that issue there. So with that, this is a public hearing, so I'll go ahead and open and close the public hearing and move this item. And again, just appreciate all our code officers for their work. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion a second. No further comment or questions from council members? No public comment? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any noes or abstentions? Hearing none, item passes.
Okay, Mayor, we move to the discussion calendar. Item number 16 is an ordinance authorizing amendment to the contract between the City of Sacramento and the California Public Employees Retirement System.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Samantha Hardy, and I'm the Benefit Services Division Manager in Human Resources. This item tonight is on the discussion calendar as required by CalPERS, and the adoption of the ordinance is the final step in the administrative process as required by CalPERS to incorporate the retirement cost-sharing language in the UNREP Reso for UNREP CalPERS Classic members into the city's contract with CalPERS. This action does not change the amount of retirement cost sharing already being paid by the UNREP Classic members, and it also does not change the amount of the city's employer contribution to CalPERS.
And Mayor, I have no public comments on this agenda item.
Okay.
Apologize, we didn't move fast enough. Thank you, Heather. No, certainly. So I have one speaker, Mac Worthy, on item 16.
People, how many of you people that plan to retire know about what your income going to be when you retire? These are the things you should be concentrating on. These are the things you should be talking to people about. And with the price on houses going up, the tax, are you going to be able to stay here? Because I gather that some people here remote working have moved out of the town and living somewhere else. So, these are the things that you should be trying to find out. Caltrans, you're going to lose some money on federal government. Are they going to be able to pay for your retirement? Did you have an option to invest your own retirement? You come in here, you got to have this type of knowledge to function in nowadays. because this thing gonna get over here in another year or so. You see, this race equity garbage, that's the most prejudiced thing that ever happened here, and you know who designed that. You had to tell what's your nationality to get a job. That's just like when the sheep herders herd the sheep to come in and cut the wool, they count them. Which one's going back and how many calves we got. That's where they do that race equity thing. Just like you look at the police department here. How many black policemen was here had brass this morning? One. How many people in the fire department had a big position that looked like me? None. Why? These are the things, if you're talking about race equity, you are violating what you say, your theory of helping folks. Why can't you get out there and find some? Because don't nobody want to go in here and be lied to. People don't want to be pushed around and jumped around. Wake up. It's coming. I'll be here to laugh at you.
Thank you for your comments. Mayor, I have no more speakers.
Okay, Councilmember Guerra?
Thank you. You know, usually I wouldn't speak on an item like this, but I just make a clear point that, one, I'm going to move this item, but that our employees are contributing their own money into the retirement system. So these assertions that this is some kind of giveaway, this is actually their own earned money that goes into their retirement for their future. And so it's wanted to make that clear, and glad to move the item for those who think that this is some kind of free retirement system.
Okay, is that a second, Councilmember? We have a motion and a second. Do you? No. Yes. Motion by Guerra, second by Jennings. No further comment or questions from council members. Motion is second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any noes or abstentions? None. Measure passes 9-0.
Now turn to council comments, ideas, questions, and AB 123 reports.
Councilmember Vang.
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to take this opportunity to give a shout out to all of the residents that attended our annual District 8 Community Conversation that happened this Saturday. It was a really great turnout. Mayor, I also want to say thank you for attending our annual Community Conversation meeting as well, and Assemblymember Nguyen and Superintendent Hoffman. And I wanted to take this moment also just to thank city staff. They came on a weekend when they didn't have to really hold space for the community. We held several smaller workshops with the Department of Community Response, with Code Enforcement, with PD, with Public Works, with SHRA, and really just wanted to thank city staff for helping us to make our annual event successful. And then just a few announcements. One is just to let folks know that Macro Valley High Community Center is hosting a March Madness youth basketball event happening this Friday from 5 to 9. It is a free community event, so stop by. And the competition in particular, the basketball tournament, is for youth ages 7 to 17. And then this Saturday is one of my favorite annual events happening at the Pinnell Community Center. It is our 36th annual Sweet Potato Festival, hosted by the Sacramento Valley section of the National Council of Negro Women, taking place again this Saturday from 10 to 4 p.m. I will be there, and Coach Jennings over here is on the panel to try out the various sweet potato pies for the contest. So really encourage my colleagues and folks out in the community to stop by South Sacramento and Meadowview to check out the Sweet Potato Festival. And I think those are all my updates for now. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Guerra.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Just two announcements and one AB 1234 report. Number one, I want to congratulate again the opening day for Tahoe Talc Little League over at the Tahoe Talc Fields on San Joaquin Street. Unfortunately, I've got a family engagement, so I won't be there this time to help out and throw the first pitch, but maybe the mayor can make it out there to go out and throw the first pitch this Saturday for the Tahoe Talc Little League. Also, in the evening, local educators and folks from NorCal Resist will be at Raza y Rola's the Art Fight fundraiser at over at Front Street, and they'll be raising money for Sacramentans who need support, who may be refugees, asylees, or immigrants. So come out and support them. We have a local artist and former Sac State classmate of mine, an artist, Chico Gonzalez, who also with the Met. With that, thank you, Mayor. And then my AB 1234 report, myself and a couple other colleagues went to the Civic Well Conference this weekend. One of the topics of discussion which are critical was that affects us every day when there is a forest fire is the issue of air quality, and so forest management was an important issue because we know that when the fires happen up in the Sierras, they come down to our community here. We also talked a lot about water issues, and one of the key water issues that we discussed here was the need to make sure that the Prop 4 dollars are executed and roll out so that we can get programs into effect to maintain the health of the Sacramento River, the American River, and it's great to see that the Chinook salmon is back in the American River from the efforts from our city's Department of Utilities conference as well. We had the opportunity to advocate to the governor's administration, their secretary for that of natural resources about the importance of this issue. And with that, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Maple.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Couple announcements and also an AB 1234 report. So tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., so that's tomorrow the 19th, at St. Robert's School in Hollywood Park, the Hollywood Park Neighborhood Association is going to be hosting a community transportation safety panel that'll include myself as well as members of our city team and folks from the community. So for those who are interested in learning about transportation safety, specifically along Freeport Boulevard and 24th and Fruit Ridge, we're going to be talking there, so join us. On Thursday the 20th this week, we are hosting our X Street Navigation Center Good Neighbor Meeting. So for anyone who's interested in what's going on at the shelter, concerns, questions, please join us at 6 p.m. at NeighborWorks on Alhambra Boulevard. And then on Saturday, the 22nd at 11 a.m., our office is hosting our very first District 5 Fit and Fun event. Our very own District 5 constituent and small business owner, Alexa Garcia, will be hosting a workout. So we encourage you to come. It's located at City of Refuge on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. So those are the fun events coming up. And then I also attended the Civic Well Conference in Yosemite with my colleagues here. It was an amazing, if you get an opportunity, I really encourage the rest of you to maybe attend in a future year. Not only is the scenery beautiful, the topics of conversation were very deep. It's a smaller conference. You have a lot of policymakers from around the state. We got to hear from Tony Atkins from Betty Yee and many others. And so I really encourage you to partake in that if you can in the future. Was particularly interested to learn about Prop 4 and some of the projects that we can do here in the city of Sacramento, as well as housing and transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan.
Thanks, Mayor. Tomorrow, and I'm double checking, it is not supposed to rain. We have the beginning of our Westlake Food Truck Mania. So we're going to have Hefty Heroes, JoJo's Hawaiian Fried Chicken, Taco Girl Food Truck, Casa Pinoy, as well as the Mini Donut Shack. And then we also have come and join in our specialty 21 and over area, Grindstone Winery. But in reality, really come out and support. It is Sacramento Navy Week. So we are going to have special performances by our Navy Brass Quintet Band out there. So thank you for all of those who are in their service. I have family members who are lifelong service members, so really appreciate all that they do. And then this Saturday, it is our District 1 tree planting at Westlake Community Park. So come out and join us. And then I just want to give a shout out. I see those of our younger generation sitting here in the audience listening to us. So if you have questions, I'll hang around if you want to come talk to me afterwards. But good to see you coming here and participating civically. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Dickinson.
Thank you, Mayor. A few weeks ago, we adjourned our meeting in memory of Coach Alberghini, the legendary Grant High School both baseball and football coach who led them Pacers to state championship. There is a community memorial service for him in his memory at 1 p.m. this Saturday at the Grant Football Stadium. So those of you who want to come celebrate Coach Al's life, that was a great community opportunity to do that. And then I also wanted to add on to my colleagues with an AB 1234 report. I attended the conference, a Civic Well Policymakers Conference as well. I won't repeat what they've said, but it is an opportunity that brings together about 100 mayors, council members, and supervisors, as well as others from around the state to share perspectives and learn what others are doing. One item additional of note to what my colleague said was for our former Commissioner of Insurance, Dave Jones, was one of those who spoke and with great knowledge and detail about the insurance crisis that we face in the state. And this is something that is on everybody's mind, I think, these days, no matter where you live or where you have a business, and what possible solutions or resolutions there may be to that crisis. And our own Dave Tamayo, who's a SMUD board member, spoke as part of a panel on affordability in a green economy, and outlined a lot of the advantages that SMUD offers to its customers that help both be green and be economical at the same time. So it was an excellent weekend in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Talamantes.
On Saturday, I just want to we planted 16 trees at Northgate Park, so just wanted to give a shout out to Robbie Robbins, my commissioner, Yipsy, and my staff for organizing it. It was a fun time. And I got to name my tree. My tree's name is Karma. And park staff told me that when I drive by and it's 100 degrees, to go put my loose water bottles in my car and go water the tree if I can, to give it a little extra water.
Good
so
karma.
I'm going to make sure that that I keep my tree alive and that it grows in Northgate Park. That's it.
Well, with that good karma, we will adjourn. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. We have four public speakers. I apologize, Jeff.
So Mayor, I have
We'll give you
five
an extra 30
speakers.
seconds
So,
because of that misgiving.
Jeff Tartagia, Mac Worthy, Abel Yamain, Christina Lake, and then Petra Vega. Mr. Tartagia? Oh, just one moment. Okay, try now.
Hello?
Jeff Tartagia, resident of District 4. What I hear is, again, want to encourage not how many times you've forgotten about not on the agenda, but please move it up, because as you saw at the last meeting, you had somebody that was really disturbed. And literally the police were not here. They were out there thinking the meeting is over with. So please consider, another consideration is, we want discussion items like this to be available earlier, so that if there's something more that can actually be responded to, you have the ability to, before the end of the meeting, when everybody's going home and gone, to not deal with it. Also, this is a heritage you have from Mr. Darrell Steinberg of doing this. And there's several of you that are politicians. There are several of you that are city council members. So please think about what this means for and to Sacramento. There's a new floor that's going on through here. There are another series of hearings, and we've got rallies taking place right now over here related to some subjects. Now, last meeting, you cut me off before I could suggest about what needed to happen with the city clerk about over here, that you don't have notices out anymore, and you have to be directed over to the, shall we say, counter that shows you the picture of what. I've worked with now city clerk to make a suggestion about how you post the location so that people will look and find out those that do not have electronic devices and components. And on that, I will go to another rally and another meeting, and we will finish off today. So thank you very much, but please move.
Mr. Worthy, and then Abel.
First of all, I'm here every day. I want to be here on the freedom of speech. And Garrett, you don't have to remind me of that state retirement. I was in the business for 59 years here. I know more than you'll ever learn. You just tell those people about that organization, ACE, over there, was up at Sac High, letting those kids out of grades to demonstrate. That's what you should talk about. But people, I heard a lot of garbage here this morning. That is Prop 36. Nobody said a word about what he's going to do. When the bullets start flying, I'll probably be dead already. But you're going to suffer the consequence of the old 80s public defenders, Mexicans, black boys, flea bargain to build a rap sheet. Same thing going to come out of 36. So wake up, talk to people right. Now, we heard of housing. What about the disabled? If you're going to take records, how many people out there get a disabled check? It's a lot of them got to get a disabled check. Now, who are they spending their check with? That's what you should be trying to find out. You can't depend on housing no more. They're going to bring the Department of Justice in here. I'm going to try to be in that meeting with the police department. Because if they go with a lawsuit, I'm going to testify against the city. And I will advise them who to subpoena and use the information. We're here to try to straighten the city out because you're going to be up shit creek when John Trump leave Washington, D.C. All that shit going to hit the fan. Going to hit the fan, people. It may go up into a civil war. And if I'm able, I don't need but a handful of boys. Ain't about guns. It's about knowledge of confusion. That's what it's about. Remember, I was into electronics. What I know, it's amazing. All I needed is a handful to carry out my.
Thank you for your comments. Abel Yamain and Christina Loki.
Hello, I don't know, I'm good. My name is Abel Yamane. I grew up in Folsom. I'm Eritrean, a U.S. citizen. My parents migrated here to this country fleeing war, and almost a year ago, Sacramento City Council declared this city a sanctuary city for trans people. And as a trans person myself, although I don't really feel the gesture of sanctuary in my day-to-day, the notion and gesture is still appreciated because the city won't use its resources to criminalize trans people seeking gender-affirming care, because the city recognizes trans people and sees their humanity and grants them safe space as they should. But I also wanted to extend that sympathy and grace to people not only in the city, but everywhere kind of facing that. Whether they're here in Sac or just in the state of California or just in the country, in the South, Haiti, DRC, Palestine, Tigray, Yemen, Sudan, and the oppression they have faced, because I also face what they face too to a similar degree. So I wanted to just extend that. Whether it's at the hands of the government, law enforcement, military, and their allies, if things continue as they are now, I not only see the humanity oppression and trans people face here in the city, and I do myself, but across the world, because trans erasure, forced assimilation, and violence isn't limited to this city. It exists everywhere, and this should be a space to rectify it or acknowledge it to some way or degree, rather than dismissing it and belittling those issues as secondary, because these are a group of people facing oppression, displacement, violence, and abuse, not only here, but everywhere, especially Black, transgender, not-conforming individuals that are from these regions of the world. Thank you for letting me speak. And ICE is also not welcomed here in Sacramento.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Christina, then Petra. And Petra's our final speaker.
Hi, Christina Lockey. I'm a board member with the Tahoe Park Neighborhood Association and TPNA's appointee on the Aggie Square Community Partnership Committee. I'm here today because I believe UC Davis and Wexford have not been following in the spirit of the Aggie Square Community Benefits Partnership Agreement that they made with the City of Sacramento. I've also shared this with Councilmember Maple and Guerra's offices, but we have not seen any resolution, and therefore I think it's important to bring it to the full council and legal counsel so you're aware of the issue. One item of the agreement included the establishment of an ongoing community fund paid through rent surcharges, with Wexford committing to provide $150,000 a year for the first 3 years. It also included the establishment of the Community Partnership Committee to ensure neighborhood participation and priority setting in the use of the fund. In August, about 7 months ago, the committee held what was supposed to be the first of quarterly meetings after UC Davis and Wexford insisted on a very expedited process for the neighborhood associations to make their appointments. However, this was 7 months ago, and we have not met since, nor have we heard anything from Wexford or UC Davis about this process or why there's a delay. About 4 months ago in November, I reached out to Wexford and UC Davis asking what the delay was and what the process was going to be for next steps. I've not heard back. I emailed them again 3 months ago, reached out a month ago, and included both council members, chiefs of staff, who also requested information, and we still have not heard anything from Wexford or UC Davis about what their plan is. Frankly, it's insulting to the community to not have any response, let alone not have this money going out. It was supposed to go out in partnership with the groundbreaking or the opening in May, and we haven't even met to talk about what the parameters would be for how the money should go out. Unfortunately, I think my colleague on the committee, Petra from Oak Park Neighborhood Association, wasn't able to make it here in time, but we're asking that legal counsel consider taking action to ensure that the Wexford and UC Davis follow through with the community benefits agreement. Thank you.
Next speaker is Petra. Is Petra here? Mayor, this is the last speaker slip I have.
Last speaker for the evening. With that, we will adjourn.
Yeah, one more speaker, please. One more speaker. It's just such a long line because
And unfortunately, we've already adjourned the meeting. We cannot resume.
We'll be back next week, every
Thank
Tuesday.
you.